Hi everyone, Samian here. I'll share the video in just a moment. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor, the Family Law Project. It's similar to ratemds.com, and if you've been to a corrupt family court or woke school, you can now report terrible judges, teachers, caseworkers, and therapists on the Family Law Accountability Project. It helps you figure out which lawyers and educational institutions to avoid too. And by leaving a review, you help others having their academic or financial life wrecked by wokesters. What are you waiting for? Sponsor link is down below. And now on with the show.
Michael Santonato here with another episode of How to Become Financially Indestructible with the one and only Sandman, talking today about passive income, which is perfectly valuable and important for financial indestructibility, and how to use AI to become financially indestructible with passive income. So, Sandman, what's up?
Nothing much. So, before we got on this chat, we were talking about how, you can use technology to augment your workflow. So, by that I mean you want to write something, you can use ChatGPT to write it for you. So students are already finding that with their assignments, and it'll even write them assignments in a way so that the teacher can't even recognize that it's been written by ChatGPT. So that's one. That's
And
like, go ahead.
and there's a service now that they just came out with to try and detect students using ChatGPT to write their assignments for them.
Yeah, but it's like it's just going to be an algorithm war. Like one will just keep getting ahead of the other until eventually there's just no way to trace it. Like the only way you'll be able to trace an individual's work is through their style. So if they come up with specific phrases or they say things in a certain combination or the way they use language, but then you know what people will do? They'll just take all of their writing and they'll put it into the language model and it'll start spitting things out to sound like them. And then the teacher's going to be
Exactly.
like, that sounds like that's this person, right? And so
That's right. That's how
that,
I got plagiarizing in like grade eight one time. It's like there's some stupid assignment on the Boer War, and I just normally don't plagiarize, but it was so dumb. I just like went to the internet, copy pasted, submitted it, and she called me out. She's like, "You don't. This isn't you. You don't talk like this. You don't write like this." And I was like, "Fuck! I didn't think of that shit."
yeah, you gotta get somebody else's work and then rewrite it in your own words. So you're still doing the work. It's like you got to outsource the material. Like, for example, I do my memes of the week videos. 90% of the humor and, the stuff in them is all taken off of Twitter comments. So I'm outsourcing the writing to people who don't even know that I'm literally taking their work and plagiarizing. But is it plagiarizing or is it considered fair use? Because the thing is, I still have to work things through and word things to make it sound interesting and not boring. They're just doing a
Right, and
little
you're
bit.
allowed.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you're allowed to use their images in your video for content, and then you're like riffing off of that and
Well, let's say
adding
let's
your
say
spins.
let's say there's 20 comments on a specific post. Well, I identify the three or four comments that are the funniest, and then I put them in the order that I want. That's a skill, right? That's
Yeah.
something that people need to learn. That's so you first of all, there's a skill like identify quality writing. So to identify good quality writing, you have to be a writer yourself. So that's step number one. And what I think is really interesting is I was watching something a while back, and they were talking about how up to the age of 35 or 40, like say you're a lawyer, you can be the star lawyer in your firm. But after you get into your 40s and 50s, your mind is no longer nimble enough to keep coming up with new ideas and new things. So what you then have to do is you have to switch over to being the person that identifies and helps the new talent become the best they can be. Because you can no
Right.
longer
That's
be
why
the,
they're right. That's why they're awarded partner status, and they're more of like a consultant and an advisor, as opposed to like in there litigating and doing that stuff.
yeah, exactly. Because you can't, and the thing is, this is the thing that destroys a lot of musicians and artists. And because, like say you're someone like Prince and you're on the top of your game in your 20s and 30s, and then you get into your 40s and you still want to be in the top of your game, or Michael Jackson, and you can't keep up because your body is starting to break down. So now you've got to like pump yourself full of all kinds of chemicals to keep dancing and putting yourself through that abuse. You have to get to a stage where you're just like, you know what? I'm no longer the star. Now I'm the coach. Right.
Right.
And I think a lot of people have a hard time accepting that. So anyway, in terms of passive income in AI, let's try to stay on topic.
For
When
sure.
it comes to getting your workflow down, so like you can imagine you could program the AI to crawl through the comments on Twitter and grab the best ones and deliver them to your inbox, or program it to go out on Twitter and find the best feeds to basically share with you. But Twitter or X is already doing that. So it's already finding the things that you would most likely be interested in, and it's feeding them to you so that you stay on there as long as possible. And you're just exploiting that algorithm to find and repackage content that you normally would have done. So that's another possibility. But there are tools already out there to help people make passive income. It's just not you're not gonna make a video and like for example for myself, I'm trying to find a tool right now that will allow me to record my voice and then just plug in text, because I for the most part a lot of my videos are scripted, and that the voice will automatically read the text in my voice, so that saves me the time of having to record it and edit it myself.
Doesn't that exist already? I think that does, doesn't it?
Yeah, but that's just one example. So that increases the
Okay.
workflow that you can actually put out. So instead of spending 15 minutes recording the audio and then spending another half hour, 45 minutes like editing the audio, like to just clean it up and like string it together, it's all done automatically in 5-10 minutes, right? So that saves you.
Amazing.
So AI doesn't necessarily create the passive business, it augments existing business procedures, right? That's pretty much what I think it's going to do. Or like for example, you hear
Got it.
somebody talking and you want to transcribe that into text, you can use voice to text software to do that for you, right?
Right.
So every one of these little tools is, once you merge enough of these tools together, you can create an automated system. But the problem is, what's going to happen is, like guys in India were stealing my text. They were running my videos through a like voice to text software, and then they would get the transcript, and then they would run it through another piece of software that would go from text to speech. And so now they could get me saying the things that I was saying in a different voice. And then once they did
Right.
that, they would add visuals and upload the videos onto YouTube and generate revenue from that. But they didn't write any of the content. They went to the stock video page and they just pulled stock videos that somebody else had produced, and they just all they did was curate. They didn't
Right.
create, they curated. That's all they did.
And by the way, what happened there? Did you end up flagging those to take them down or what?
Well, I contacted YouTube, and the YouTube said they weren't doing anything wrong. And they were literally taking like 7 or 8 minutes of my work at a time, word for word, and just like redoing it in another voice.
And how did you come to be aware of this?
My viewers just pointed it out to me. They said, "Look, this person's stealing your content." And I'm like, "Stealing my content?" And I'm like, "Wow, they're just like taking things word for word." They would take all the ads out. They would take the intros out. They would take my name out. They would take all that kind of stuff out. They would just like
And then your voice would be in their videos, in their
no, no,
content?
no, not my voice. Another voice that
Someone
they would,
else's
an
voice.
AI generated voice that they would just get to read
Okay.
the transcript of my content. That's
So
it.
they're just stealing, yeah, so they're stealing your content, which by the way, thievery is a high form of flattery, they say, right?
It is, but not when you're demonetized and they're monetized and they're literally making
That's
money
true.
that you can't make. And you go to YouTube and say, "I want to make money off this." YouTube says no, but then for them, YouTube says yes. So
Yeah, that's fucked.
yeah,
But 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 at the same time, so is it still running? Is their channel still working, still running?
I haven't been looking for a while, but like a lot of them were getting trouble with demonetization and issues. So I don't know. I haven't been paying attention. But
Okay,
YouTube now asks you when you post a video, is this video
yes,
or any part of this video created with AI?
I've seen that. Yes. And what are they going to do with that? Are they going to demonetize? Are they going to show it lower? What are they going to do?
Well, right now the reason they're doing it is because they want to make sure that people aren't using they're generating fake words, fake images of people that already are out there saying things that they would never have said. So they're trying to use the technology to like
Yeah,
to get you that way, right?
to prevent deep fakes.
Yeah, but when the deepfakes get good enough, there's no way to know what's real and what's not.
Right. Right now they're pretty detectable. What are you going to do when they start deep faking you and they have Sandman finally reveals his face and finally reveals who he is and starts loving women and gets into a relationship with a 400-pound whale. And what are you going to
Yeah,
start doing now?
it's not going to happen, right? So it's they're not going to be able to. They could create all kinds of things. I mean, somebody actually did leak a picture of me many years ago, and they said, "Oh, I look like one of the Trailer Park Boys, the guy with the goatee." Right? They're like, he looks exactly like the Trailer Park Boy guy, and I was
Oh, the guy
like,
with the drink in his hand all the time.
"Yeah, exactly." Right?
Ricky, I think.
Yeah. So it was kind of funny, but yeah, I lost the
Wonderful.
weight, and I don't look like that anymore. So it's kind of funny, but
And you
yeah,
don't drink. You don't drink.
I don't
You
drink.
don't
I can't
drink.
drink. That's right. So anyway, but besides that, like when you think about AI doing a lot of people's work, it's not just that AI is going to allow you to create automated businesses. It's going to be the big businesses that can afford the AI that are going to create passive businesses on their own that will look like
Exactly.
small businesses. So it
Exactly.
you're not gonna win that game. They have teams of people ready to automate you out of existence.
And they're spending boatloads of money you can't even imagine to already incorporate AI into their companies and work, and they're hiring people and paying them the highest salaries that are like, the most ready AI developers. And we people have to watch our other video on AI and when they'll lose all the jobs and technology revolutions. We got to put those links in the description because in those videos we talk about how all the companies are already adapting to have robotics and AI working in their businesses.
Yeah, so like there's no way you can create passive income. They're going to take your passive income. So what you got to do now in terms of AI, you got to find ways to stay ahead of it actively, make your money and invest in companies that are in AI. So like for example, I looked at my IYW fund that I pretty much invest in, which is the like iShares BlackRock technology fund. And recently they dumped the majority of their Google and Meta shares, and now they're starting to buy tons of Nvidia. So Nvidia is up to 13-14% of the fund, and I think Apple's at 15. So soon Apple will be knocked down, and all it'll be at the top is Microsoft and Nvidia because they're the fastest
Wow.
growing companies. So it's like
Wait, will NVIDIA replace Fang, one of the ends in the Fang? Will it replace Facebook, Apple, Netflix,
well, yeah,
Google,
probably. I don't know, but
one
like
of the other ends in Fang?
well, look, the problem with Netflix and all the streaming services is the content is absolute garbage, right? So for studios, they might actually be able to create content like passively through that type of technology, but we're still not there yet. We'll see, right?
Won't this have quality go down though? Like with all the conversations we've been having about AI and all the massive influx of new content that creators will be able to create, won't we see like a major degradation in quality?
Well, look, you can't use your phone now. Like today, I picked up my phone and it's like, you have a package that is stuck at the blah 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 center. Call this number. I'm like, another scammer trying to
Yeah,
yeah, so phones become completely useless because only things I will check are text messages. I won't even listen to messages. Only things I will check is,
voicemail.
and now they're starting to realize people aren't even picking up the voicemail. They're not picking up their phone. All they're doing is looking at text messages. So now they're
Yeah,
sending us text messages.
that's right. I called two people today and got their voicemails, and both of them told me, don't leave a voicemail. Send an email or send a text.
Yeah, but soon it'll be like even a text won't be good enough because you'll get 25 texts in a day. People just from India sending you text messages all day. So text will be useless too. So how are you supposed to get in touch with anybody? You'll have to have like
So
a
call,
sorry,
yeah. No, no, go ahead.
you were
Video
saying?
messages. Video messages probably. There's already like I'm in sales, so there's already like a hierarchy of effectiveness for reach outs and communication and video calls, video messages, audio messages, are at the higher end of those things. Um, so it sounds like quality will go down and also will be overwhelmed and we'll need some kind of filter
Well, we're
for
gonna need
these.
we're gonna need curation, right? So, for example,
Yeah,
if you want to consume content, an algorithm won't be enough to tell you what to consume. You'll have to be able to go to a page or a channel, and it'll have to have in an into human being picking what's on there. And so it'll have to, and then based on what you've picked, it will suggest something real. So channels where you can't confirm people's identity. So I think a lot of the internet anonymity is going to disappear, because if you create content, you're going to have to like reveal who you are, but otherwise people are going to assume you're an AI.
So you'll have to reveal your face more.
Well, at some point, it might have to be that way.
It's already highly rewarded, and so you're saying that that reward will probably be increased because of the deep fakes and all that.
Yeah, I mean, well, we're still a long way from that, but like you got to look 5 years, 10 years down the road at what's going to happen, right? So,
Hmm.
like, you're right. Like,
What
sorry,
what are
go
some
ahead.
other methods and methods to use AI to create passive income?
See, like, unless you're a big business, you can't really do that. Like, all you can do right now is augment existing businesses and increase your workflow. So, say you're a computer programmer, you want, like, say you break up your project into 10 pieces, and then you ask that you ask like whatever OpenAI's ChatGPT to write you each one of those little 10 pieces one at a time. So that's the problem. You can't just ask it to create the whole thing. You can ask it to create piece by piece, and then you just assemble all the pieces. So now your labor time has been reduced greatly.
Hmm.
Like this
Hmm.
whole idea of like passive income, this passive income dream that people have. Sure, you can get passive income through dividends, or you can have stocks that go up over time, and that is in a sense passive income. Same thing with real estate, but at the same time, the passive income days are kind of done. Like it's really hard to create a business where you can just like build something for 6 months and then coast for the next five. Right?
Right.
I've done that back in the early 2000s. I used to build websites. I used to run ads on them. I used to get on the search engines at the top of all the search engine rankings. And
Nice.
when the Google came out and Google AdSense came out, I had all the top rankings, and I was positioned to profit heavily off of that. And it took about 3 or 4 years until Google image search came around and destroyed my business model at the time. But it was a great time because I could make passive income for 3 or 4 years, and I didn't have to do anything, and I was making great money. So
Nice.
that was the past. But like,
Mm.
can you name some passive income or businesses today? Like off the top of your like head, what do you think?
Yeah, being in sales, I did a lot of network marketing when I was learning sales. When I cut my teeth in entrepreneurship and sales, I did a lot of network marketing, and a lot of those have passive income streams. And I'm not talking about scams. I'm talking about like actual legitimate businesses that are, on the stock market that have been around for many years. So I did a bunch of those, and you create passive income through renewals and subscriptions through products. I'm obviously financial advisor, financial mentor and guide. And so I'm able to provide and sell different investments and different insurances, and those have passive income aspects.
But is
I'm
that
usually very hands-on in my work, so systems and things like that is not like my strength. People, personalities, sales, communication, presenting, those are my strengths. So I've leaned toward businesses for those.
yeah? But how do you define passive income? That's the problem, right? Like, passive in,
Yeah,
and like you said, like
passive.
it's like a hybrid model, right? Like you some aspects of a business are passive income, but not everything, right? Like you can't,
Right.
like how much of it can you actually automate away, or how much, like a vending machine is a truly passive income because you pay
Yeah.
somebody to stock it, you pay the person to collect the change from it, and you just own the vending machine and it generates passive income. Like
Yeah, that's a good
if you have
point.
a piece of real estate and you have a property management company managing it, that is passive income.
Truly passive. That's right, because you're paying the property management company to do the work. But if you're not paying them, then you're still active. So it's like partially active, partially passive. I know someone who has multiple properties, and it's totally, totally passive because he happily pays that property management fee because he wisely knows that he can scale with the other half being taken care of. I know someone else who has a lot of different properties, and they're totally hands-on, still going and picking up checks. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. You're not going to scale and you're driving yourself crazy. And their argument is, yeah, but I have to pay. Yeah, it's a small price to pay. That way you can scale and have peace of mind and have a decent life. So I've done real estate. I've made passive income through real estate where I've had someone else do everything for me, the sourcing, the tenants, not just a property manager, even a I've invested with other real estate investors and they've done all the work, the upgrading, and I just silent partner, I just get a fee and a cut, right? I used to use Nexo, which was my favorite crypto platform until they complied with Canada's rules and they let themselves get kicked out, which was stupid. But for many years with crypto, I used Nexo, which paid, a staking rate for the crypto I was storing on their platform. So staking is a form of passive income. I'll put the link in the description. I like a company called Lofty, which is a blockchain crypto based real estate, automated investment platform. So you pay in crypto, you actually select the properties. This is more niche and specialized where you can select the properties and you can even vote on things of what to do and what to have happen with the properties. And they pay you daily. They pay you the ROI and the rents as a fraction daily, back rewarded into your wallet on the blockchain.
Yeah, I
And
just
then
like,
there's dividends. There's dividend investing, like you said, of course, with stocks.
but yeah, like look at something like a vending machine. A vending machine is AI because it's artificial intelligence because it's a cashier in a box, right? The box, the
Yeah.
software, the chips in there, all that automated system is basically replacing the brain of a cashier. It's calculating things automatically for you.
Right, but it's not like true AI because it's not generating its own responses.
Well,
Like it might be, it's not intelligent. It might have an algorithm that knows when to order and when to, provide change and stuff like that,
yeah,
unless I'm missing
but
something.
imagine an AI coming up with an entire business model on its own,
I like that.
and then implementing the business model, just using your credit card and using
Yeah,
your ID to go out for you as an agent, like an AI agent, and do things on your behalf.
yeah, I like that. That's cool.
So
I
imagine the
like that. I
sale.
want to.
Imagine the sales. Imagine instead of making 1,000 sales calls, you create AI that will just go and call 1 million people for you, right? So
Yeah.
now, the numbers game. You're still gonna annoy like 999,000 people, right? Like, but
Yes.
you'll still get 1,000 sales, and everyone will
Yes.
now know who you are, and then the government and the corporations will block anyone from ever doing that again. But now you've profited once, and that'll be it, right?
It's gonna happen. It's gonna come. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I really want to, maybe it's not there yet, but I want to experiment with having an AI build everything out and automate and run itself. It's probably too early, but I'm really looking forward to that.
Like,
I'll
imagine
pay the,
having an AI figure out the best places to put a vending machine, and then order the vending machine from the company, and then have the vending machine delivered to that location, and then keep track of the sales from the
yeah,
vending machine, and then once that's all
like,
done, go ahead.
and then place the order and then have the stock replenished and then have someone scheduled to go pick up the cash and then ensure there's a deposit at the bank in your account and then validate the deposit. What else?
Yeah, no, but the whole process, right? So like, imagine you can automate something like that. Like, like a laundromat can be automated, or
Yeah,
like, we start off with something basic, and then like, it'll just, like, Google has their like phone agent that you can like ask to do specific calls for you, like call florist for pick up of flowers, and it'll call. It's like, hi, I'm blah 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 agent. It's like, I would like to order some flowers, and then you just tell it what you
right.
want it to do, and it'll do it for you. This
Yeah,
already
yeah.
exists. So just imagine this, but like multiple agents all kind of connected together doing more complex tasks.
Right, right. One thing that prevented me from sticking with some of the more passive income streams like blogs. I used to get really excited about blogging back when that was a thing, right? Because I was like, oh, this thing, can promote my business for me on my behalf when I'm not there. And one reason why I didn't continue to pursue blogs at scale was because it just to me was so boring to sit at the computer and type this out and then edit it and then post it and then cycle it, whatever. But there are a lot of people that have done that successfully and have made a lot of money through blogs. I think it takes a certain kind of personality type to want to sit and stick with it. I'm so much, I just know the way I'm wired that I'm so much more of like the human interaction and speaking and selling and being physical and in the same environment or on a phone call and making money and sales that way, that I didn't stick with a lot of the passive income streams that are out there. And I think you need to be able to practice delayed gratification, which is a major lacking skill in our society today. What do you
Gotcha.
think about that?
I mean, like, look, there's a certain benefit to creating content every day, which is you keep your mind sharp, right? And if you don't use your brain, like I didn't use my brain for like 3 years, 4 years. And I set up a passive turnkey business online and I walked away. I just monitored it, make sure that the money was flowing in. I would travel, I would take pictures, I would go hang out with girlfriends, I would eat at restaurants. And I went absolutely stir crazy because my life was just like not perfect, but it was like I didn't have anything negative happening. I set my life up perfectly. And what I realized was I started to chase depressing experiences. I started to watch depressing movies. I started to like find ways to feel negative again because everything was too positive.
Wow. It's like complacency. You got bored with all the comfort and complacency.
Well, that's right. Like unless you're pushing yourself to do something new, you're going to die of boredom.
Right. What was that business, by the way?
I basically had about 10, 15 websites. And on each website, I would collect a bunch of pictures, or I would take a lot of pictures, or coloring books for kids, or pictures of Blue's Clues and Yogi Bear, and people could go and click and see all of the pictures online on each one of these websites. So, like, say you wanted to see pictures of, I don't know, like Thomas the Train Engine. You'd go to like Google and you type in Thomas the Train Engine pictures, and it would take you to my page. And then you would click on the first link at the top, or giraffe pictures. So you click on giraffe pictures, and a page would open up, and there would be 6 or 10 giraffe pictures in the middle, with surrounded by ads, of course. And then you would click on the giraffe picture, and the picture would open on another page with another ad at the top. And then you'd go back, more ads. Then you'd click on the second picture, another ad. Then you go back, load another 2 or 3 ads. So like literally, I would have somebody show up to see like 3 or 4 pictures of a giraffe and load like 15 ads. And so I was
Yeah.
loading like, I don't know, like maybe 5 to 10 million ads a month just from,
Wow.
and so that was just, so every month people would go back every day a new person would search for giraffe pictures. And then they would come and they would look at the pictures and then, day after day, the same thing. Or like music lyrics. So I'd have pages where there was music lyrics and people could
So
read.
you were a major ad dealer.
Well, yeah, I learned about online advertising back in the day and how it convinced people to buy things they didn't need and how it literally wrecked our brains. And it made me feel so horrible, like how bad advertising was. And so I did the most logical thing I could do. Get in the advertising business, right? Like
Right.
it's because I'd known how it works so well that I was like, well, I might as well profit off of this horrible thing that I learned so much about because I wanted to free myself from, right? I freed myself from advertising, but I probably enslaved another 3 or 4 thousand people doing it, right? It's like,
Yeah. But you built that business as a system and you were able to live comfortably on a good income from all those websites.
yeah, exactly. But then over time, like the websites I built in 2003 and 2004, the income finally petered out around 2012. So it literally took 7, 8, 9 years before the income dropped below $1,000 a month, and then eventually nothing, right? So another good way to do passive income is to sell content on something like eBay. So I used to sell like photo CDs on eBay. And so all I would do is work on automating the posting system. So I had an ad and I could just go into eBay and say, post this ad every day at 5 o'clock. And it would post it. And then I would get an order and then I would be like, oh, okay, the order has come in through PayPal. I would read the order, put the DVD in an envelope and then ship it out. And every day I'd go out and it'd be like 15, 20 envelopes stacked and I would just ship them out in the mail and collect money that way.
Wow. those are great. Man, these are great ideas and these are great passive income streams that I could see working back in the day. I hope everybody stayed through watching the video to get to this point to learn about your
Well,
echelon in history.
it was crazy because it's like I had a girlfriend at the time. She came up with this idea. She's like, I'm gonna put these 60 pictures of Vin Diesel on this CD, and I'm gonna sell it on eBay as a burned CD, and then I'm like, that's not gonna work. And she sold it. It was like $60, $70 for like 60 burn. I'm like, you literally burned up 60 pictures on a DVD or CD, and we're gonna ship this out in the mail tomorrow, and you just got $60 for this. Like,
Why?
because people remember this is before everyone had high speed internet and before people had internet access out in the country, right? So if you were in the country and you wanted to go on the internet and download some pictures, you had to pay long distance phone charges and you had to pay the internet connection. So for you, it was just easier to order something and have it shipped to you. So for example, when I would put like 2000 spicy pictures, vintage spicy pictures on a CD, and guys would buy them all over the States, like literally, first of all, like how long would it take to download 2000 pictures off of their phone connection,
I
right?
see.
So remember, this is back.
And
Go ahead.
yeah, no, I see. I get it. This is a long time ago. This is a long time ago.
Well, it was 20 years
And
ago.
it's literally 20 years ago. And what I really want to ask is who the fuck is buying pictures of Vin Diesel?
Well, I still have names of people somewhere. Like I still have the accounts.
No.
Like
I just I just thought that was a good joke. I'm like, what the hell are people doing with 60 pictures of Vin
well,
Diesel?
it got to the point where it wasn't even just it was people weren't even sending it was PayPal came out. This is an innovation at the time was PayPal because PayPal was the online bank that came out that allowed us to do that. So thanks
Of
Elon Musk for
course.
doing that. And
Of
then
course, yeah.
you also had I would get like checks in the mail. So people would send me checks. So every day I'd have to go ship out the mail, but I'd also have to go to the bank to cash in like all these like 20, 30, $40 checks and
Right.
deposit them. And then some people would send me cash. So I had all this like US cash in the mail that was being sent.
Envelopes.
So every day
Yeah.
it was like sometimes it'd be coins in there. I get like jingle mail, like change, like what's
Oh
going
my
on?
gosh.
So every day it was just like the ritual was just like who sent me money today, and then like the next thing would be like burn the CDs, put them in envelopes, ship it out, and then that was it. Like if
Sandman, you're an OG in the internet marketing space.
but again, eventually eBay got pissed off because it was like when you find something that's lucrative and makes easy money, people don't like you. They see it as like that's a scam. So
Right.
if you can use AI to create a passive income, it doesn't matter if you provide something of value and it's a good service. People will still
Right.
see it as a scam because they're like, I hate that person. He's getting away with something. That's the biggest problem with passive income in general.
Haters. Gotta hate on the haters,
But
man.
it's if
Actually, you
you
gotta love the haters because they give you energy.
yeah, I guess. Anyways,
We learned something amazing today. We learned a lot about you and your history and your path. You're an OG in the internet money making space, man.
all right, man. Sounds good.
This is crazy.
I'm
Yeah,
fading,
thank
so
you.
we'll talk to you later.